Hello YouTube, Trinity here, back at Vanguard deck profile for the BT4 DZ format. I took this deck to the regionals in Georgia. Wasn't my best showing. I went 4-3 overall. I won the first round, then I got sacked by double Varga. The first game against Varga in round 2, I was doing really well. He healed on my divine turn, and he just kept healing back to 4. And then I ran out of Zamogs, and I wasn't seeing crits, and he just kept staying at 4. And I had 4 PGs and OT in my hand. I was good defensively, but eventually I just ran out of resources because he kept healing and staying at 4, and I just couldn't push lethal because he had all his PGs, and bad matchup. And then round 3, I ran into an issue that I thought would happen. My stuff started clumping, and I just had a really bad defensive hand against my second Varga matchup. He 2'd past my divine skill, and I flipped both grade 3s. So blanks, just really bad, unfortunate luck. There's nothing I can do. I thought a third Varga, and again, same issue, but then I double miracle healed on him. All my triggers were clumped, I guess, and then I drew a heal for turn, which I was just like shocked. I Persona Road and won, and then I won that matchup. Then I fought a mirror match, and I was at 1 to his 4 or 5, and he did his divine skill. I had 4 PGs in my hand. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to proc divine skill here. I'm at 1 damage. He probably will. It doesn't look like a good move here, but he probably had no other option. He procs it and he flips OT, and I just lose because of that. I hit no defensives, and I was playing the matchup well. I was at like 0 to 1 for a while. I had a really good defensive hand. If he didn't divine skill, I killed him next turn no matter what. So he made the right choice. I just got unlucky. He had OT, and then I beat 2 dojis in my last 2 rounds, which very surprised. I fought double doji in the bottom tables, but that whole event felt weird. It was just very sacky, and I didn't see a lot of my stuff. But my deck worked overall. Very happy with how it's performed. I think if I take it to New York or Philly, I guess this year's Philly for the first time since I started playing, definitely going to pile shuffle more between rounds because I ran into a big issue of not seeing pieces and all my stuff being clumped. So this is definitely a deck I'm still considering for Philly. Ava, Welstra, a bunch of other decks I'm highly considering for Philly. Maybe even build a new one. Maybe I'll borrow a Varga and just sack people like they do. No, I'm kidding. I don't sack. I need power plays like Varga. The reason I built the decks I do is because I need decks that apply pressure because I don't sack very often. So, with that being said, that's my recap for the Georgia Regional. I went 4-3. A little disappointed, but I don't think I could have done any better. I played well. Can't be helped. It's trigger luck is a part of the game. So for the ride line, we just have your standard Blangdmire ride line. Hollow Raptor, Cavity Mouse, Hollow Raptor, Vacant Fang, and Blangdmire himself. That's just the standard ride deck. Nothing to say there. You know, if you hit triggers in your ride line and your ride line abilities, you're a little bit negged for the game. We'll move on to the main deck. We got 3 copies of Faded 1 of 0, Blangdmire himself. When he attacks, Soul Blast, bind 4 face down. You may draw a card. If you bound 2 or more, he gets power, and 4 or more, you get to remove 2 cards. So that's this. I believe I misspoke there. I believe you have to bind 4 for the power. It's fine. Reading a card explains the card. Remember that. We got 4 copies of Single Strike Colossus. I love this card for the mirror and against the Varga matchup. I like to call him to the field, bind him, and draw. I also like to discard him if I draw into him, so I can put him into the soul off effects later, such as the Servant Girl and Butcher. And that is it for the grade 3 units. Moving on, I play 1 of Regulus Peace, Angel Bracing Ladder, mostly for the mirror match and Varga, Doji. This could also be Chalice if you prefer. I think both are good. I go back and forth when testing with them all the time. That is it for the grade 3s. Moving on to grade 2s, I am playing 2 copies of Game of Underworld. Basically, it gets my grade 2 units boost, which is very useful in this deck. So that is it for the grade 2s. We'll burn through this since I was going off on a tangent and recap. We play 2 copies of Underworld. Underworld Searcher. It's Skank the Schemer, Soul Blast when it's placed. You can search for the order. So I'm running a 2-2 split, and then if he's chosen by the order effect, he gets 5k. So he can be a 15k booster. But he's not the booster we're mostly using. we'll get to that when we do. We play 3 copies of Servant Falcracia. She is to put the Colossus to the Soul to draw, and she's one of our best beaters, and she's also our little draw engine in the deck. She's just a really good going second card. And that's it for that. We're moving on to the best card in the deck, which is the card you mostly want to choose for your Underworld game, which is Vedalok. On place, mandatory soul charge. Then you may counterblast. Choose a grade 2, not name this unit from your, or less card from your soul, not name this unit, and call it to rear. If your Vanguard is not Blangdmire, I don't know why I'm stuttering today, my apologies. It's been a long week. If your Vanguard is not Blangdmire, it goes back to soul at end of turn. So if you use this to rust, the card you call will go back into your soul. And then he gets 10k for every 4 cards in bind. So on your divine skill, he is a 30k booster, 40k beater. Keep that in mind, and he just gets bigger as the game goes on. Really should have killed the Varga player with 2 of those on my rears, but he kept healing. Defense game was weird, I'm not gonna lie. It was a good game, though. Fortunately, he scrubbed out the next few rounds. I really felt like I had the advantage that game. But, you know, triggers happen. Moving on, we have 4 copies of the best card in the deck, Samog. Energy Blast free. When this unit attacks with our Vanguard Blangdmire, he gets 5k and a crit if he's not critical. And then on place, Counter Blast 1, check top 3, place a card, as many into soul as you want, and if you place 1 or more, draw. So he is your beater. Moving on to grade 1s. 4 copies of Invoke. He is your booster for Blangdmire. He is your multi-attacker. He stands a unit. If you have 8 or more face down and bind, he will give that unit 15k. He's also a 13k booster, and if he's boosting Blangdmire, he is a 15k booster. Next, we play 3 copies of Netherworld Butcher, the promo. This prevents intercepting, and it also lets you put a card to your soul, and basically when it boosts. So it's just a really good card overall. This could also be a 2 of, and you could run the 1 card. I forget what its name was. It was like Steam Tamer Arwen. If you're worried about soul, I'm not really having that issue, but Arwen is a card you consider running as a 1 of tech. I personally have dropped it going forward, although there are times I wish he was still in the deck. This is a tech card. Moving on, we play 4 Perfect Guards, Sanctitude, and 3 Split. Standard Perfect Guard package. If you have Sanctitude, you run it. And I always run it in whatever decks I'm taking to events. If you're running a grade 4 deck, make sure to run the other Sanctitude. I cannot stress that enough. My OT is the Dark States OT. This could be red OT if you really want, but if you have Dark States OT and Zamog, you're dealing 5 anyway. If you have the other one and you have the energy, then you could technically use the Mook twice. I just feel like this is just as efficient. It will make Blangdmire a beater the whole game, and they have to worry about being put at lethal. Moving on, we're running the rest of the triggers. We run 3 fronts. If you know me, I like fronts and crits. 8 crits, 3 fronts. Pretty standard trigger lineup. And then finally, we play 1 effect heal for the mirror. This was going to come up in that matchup where I had the mirror match, but he flipped OT. So I was able to block the Zamug because I had this and this. So I was going to take the 2 from the Vanguard from 1 to 3. If he hit a trigger, I was going to take it. If he had another crit, I was going to go to 4, and that was fine. And then I take the Vedalok on this side, and I go to 5. And then I drop this and the 2 triggers in my hand that weren't PGs to block the Zamug. I was fine. Literally, the only way he won was the over trigger. And unfortunately, it came up. Overall, that's just how the game goes. I'm not disappointed in this list. This list has done amazing in testing, and that was actually one of the few mirror matches I've ever lost. Again, the mirror match can come down to just OT on divine skill. It's just what it is. But that's my Blangdmire deck. It went 4-3 at Georgia, and I may or may not take it to Philly. I'm still considering. Other things you could run is Tizkar, if you want to. I don't. I like to use my energy for Zamug, and I like to draw. If I don't have Zamug, I'll just pay the 7 to draw. I think Tizkar is good if you have it. I just don't think it's necessary. It kind of counteracts with Zamug in some situations. Not often. It doesn't always come up, but it can. But, like, again, it's something you have to keep in mind if you're running Tizkar. It's definitely a really good card. You could also run the other Ride Cycler if you want. I just think Falcrace is just a better card and just a better beater overall. Overall, I hope you like the Blangdmire deck. It's a deck that I have had a lot of testing with, and it's probably one of this and Welsh are the 2 decks and Ava are the 3 decks I basically play the most. It goes Blangdmire, Welsh for Ava. And I have a couple other decks that I will be giving you soon. I am a Dark States main. I am looking out to get the promo for Bruce. And I have a very good list for that coming soon. But we'll be giving more deck profiles soon. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Give me any suggestions down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.